Are you due to renew your lease for that matter? Do you know your lease is coming to an end soon? Let's talk about this right now. Restaurant leases, or any leases for that matter, are very important in any business which has to rent one area, which is not transferable, more so in the restaurant industry. Well, are you a sort of person that just sort of assumes that new lease is going renewed, or you're on a month-to-month situation, and because the landlord is a nice person, this thing will stay on for ages? Maybe it's been the same for the last 5, 10, 15 years. But I can assure you things change. Let me tell you a couple of stories. I had a client, very successful cafe restaurant operator, had a very successful cafe. Talking to them over a period of months, saying that, oh yeah, we're trying to get a new lease. Landlord hasn't getting back to us. I asked them again. They said, well, the landlord has decided he's not renewing this, and is building 15 years of Goodwill out the door. I would estimate easily a seven-figure number of dollars Goodwill. I said to him, don't talk about it to anyone. Keep your mouth shut. Let's get on to it. So what I did, I said, we've got to find somewhere for you to go to, close by. I approached a number of potential areas in the district within close proximity to find an ideal site. There was a couple of cafes, restaurants which were operating there. Nowhere near as successful as him or them. And I negotiated with a few. The lucky part about it is the most success I had was one almost next door. This one was renovated. The one he had wasn't renovated. Went in there. Fortunately, negotiated a good term, a long-term lease, better condition than the previous one. That person accepted the lease within there, and within 12 months, their turnover was up by 25%. That's a good story. Let me tell you another story. Another client had a restaurant in a prime beachside location. He was aware that, so he approached his owner. Then he gave him a 1 or 2 year lease. That expired, wanted a new lease again. This person was getting very tired. They wanted to sell up. But who would buy a restaurant with only a 1 or 2 year lease? Or no lease for that matter. It is barely worth anything. What are you buying? You're leaving yourself open to whatever price you can negotiate with the landlord. It might be fair, might double, triple, quadruple. You never know. But if you're paying all this money for a restaurant, you need to know you've got some time. Because most people, I've found, usually stay on for about 3 years, the average, maybe 4, sometimes 15, but sometimes 2. But which means that they sell within 3 years. The new person normally are looking for at least 5 years to be comfortable, to pay for the price for the restaurant and make a little profit. They've got to sell again. Another situation. I was at the gym a couple of years ago, and this person I knew, Jim. I said, how you going? He said, not too good today. I said, what's the problem? He had a panel beating shop on the main road in the area, there for about 30, 40 years. The family owned it. I said, what's the problem? He said, well, the owner won't give us a new lease. I said, why do you tell you that? He said, well, they want to put another business in there. And the business he mentioned to me, I think it was too small for it, but still perfect for a panel beater. And I thought, well, I asked him, what are you doing about it? Well, you've talked to the landlord. Well, what else have you done? I'm going to see my solicitor tomorrow. Fair enough. I mean, the solicitor might give him some moral help. The landlord doesn't want to give him a lease. There is no lease there. What set a fight? A very difficult case. Guess what happened? Had to leave your lease, and another panel beater moved in there who inherited 30, 40 years of Goodwill plus whatever equipment was left there for the current tenant. So I've got plenty of other examples to show you why you need to really think about what you need to put into your lease to ensure that you're paying the right amount of money, a fair market rental, for a period of time to see. If you've got no lease, you've got nothing to sell or very little to sell. So make sure the situation, seek the advice, maybe speak to a restaurant broker or someone who's familiar with the leases in the area, and try to negotiate with the landlord for something that suits your situation. Because you can have too short leases as well as too long. Because if it's a very long lease and you want to move out because you're getting bigger, you want to look for bigger premises, you'd have to sell it. And it's difficult there because you've got an existing business. So really do some planning. Talk to an experienced person who's familiar with the restaurant and property area, who understands rents and also, above all, knows to negotiate leases. How are you going with your lease? I'd like to hear comments below. And also subscribe to my channel for more tips on growing your restaurant.